It doesn't matter what your dreams and hopes and ambitions are. It doesn't matter if you have a new boyfriend or a new girlfriend or you've got plans for the future. You can forget those plans because you're going to wind up dead.
Hello. Hello, everybody. This is Decayed Tapes, and I am one of your co-hosts, Miguel Myers, and I'm joined by...
I am Max Booth. I realized I should have spat the mint out of my mouth before we began this. Oh, well, I just have a mint I'm kind of munching on. That's good podcasting, right?
Well, that's for the Patreon subscribers. Are you just chewing on it right now?
I am.
Hoping it dissipates quicker? Okay, sick. So, Max, when is this episode going to come out? Is it going to come out before Ghoulish?
Yeah, it's going to come out probably Wednesday. So we do have a book fest to promote. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what is that, March 15th,
16th, and 17th.
Yeah, in downtown San Antonio, Ghoulish Books is hosting the Ghoulish Book Festival, the 3rd annual. And it's tons of fun, lots of horror authors. Myself, I'll be there. Zach Chapman with his comic books, and a friend of the show, Andrew Hilbert's going to have it. Just a bunch of like ghouls are going to be there. Oh, and the ghouls of honor are what? RJ Joseph,
LJ Joseph, Jessica McHugh, and Daniel Kraus.
And Daniel, who I'm not familiar with.
I should get him on your podcast. That would be cool.
That'd be awesome. I would love that. Yeah. So it's going to be a great time. You still have time to buy some badges. Go to ghoulish.rip to buy some badges.
If you want to go straight to the page to get a badge, go to ghoulishbookfest.com. You will go straight to the badge page. Yeah, it's in San Antonio, not Dallas. We're doing an episode on a movie that also doesn't take place in Dallas. It takes place in hell, I guess.
Yeah. They did take the name Debbie Does Dallas. I was like, what are you talking about? But yeah, it's pretty good transition there.
You will see Debbie Does Dallas?
No.
I was just looking up the I have my dog in my lap right now, and I'm cuddling his eyes so he doesn't see a man walking through the parking lot, because if he does, he's gonna go crazy. It's like I'm hiding him from seeing nudity right now.
It's like he looks like the dog from Dog Years.
He is the dog from Dog Years. This is Frank Booth. He'll fuck anything that moves. That's a joke. If you've seen Blue Velvet, you'll go, that guy has good movie taste.
I've seen it once. That was pretty good.
Yeah, Dennis Hopper, the kill tool he plays is Frank Booth.
Yeah. Oh, I get it now. I get it now.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, God.
What is this? Some licking ASMR?
You were one of those people who just lets their dogs lick them in the mouth.
Tongue didn't make contact.
Max, I kissed you on that mouth. You
tongue did not make contact. He tried. There was a gap of space.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
But generally, do you let your dog lick your lips?
No, I'll push him away. I don't like it.
Okay, cool. Same. Yeah, we are talking about Debbie Does Damnation from 1999.
Wait,
you want to tell us?
Do you know what Debbie Does Dallas is about? I was looking it up because I've never seen it.
Oh, a porn. I just assumed, right?
Yeah, I've already forgotten what I read, but it was something about someone needing to go to Dallas, I believe, and then to raise money, Debbie and a bunch of other ladies that she recruits just begins to prostitute themselves out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sick.
Really
Entrepreneurs.
Awesome. There's also a bunch of other movies that play off of Debbie Does Dallas. Like I saw this one called Debbie Does Demons. Don't know what that's about, but sounds pretty cool.
Okay. Is that also like shot on video?
Didn't click the link.
Okay. He just went straight to the porn. There's also like another famous porn like Deep Throat.
Yeah.
right? I've never seen Deep Throat either. Have you?
Only in the
You've
X
never seen a porno in your
Files.
life, right?
Only in the X Files, which is really what came first. I don't know. The Deep Throat chill in the X Files or the movie Deep Throat.
Well, no, the porn Deep Throat is like from the 70s.
I don't know.
So, and then X-Files was the 90s. So
So now you know more about deep throating than I do.
nice. I like that.
Thank you.
I like it.
So for the
Um,
listeners at home, do you want to describe what the act of deep throating is?
not in front of Frank. Okay, I'm not gonna do that in front of Frank.
We're talking about Debbie Does Damnation, made by what was the guy's name?
Well, he
Uh,
went by Slain Wayne.
yeah, I have Slain Wayne, but what was the name he made the movie in? No, I don't have that in front of me. Oh, Alec Brummill was the name that he filmed this movie in, but he's known
Wait, hold on.
nowadays as Slain Wayne.
Okay, but his real name is the Eric Drummer guy or
It
whatever,
has to
right?
be. There's no way his
Eric Brummer.
fucking Christian
Yeah.
name is Slain Wayne. Slain Wayne. So just to like introduce the type of stuff we're talking about today, I am going to read his IMDb backlog. So in 1996, Slain Wayne, and know his actual name, did a few short films called Electric Flesh, which I've seen. It's like a pretty awesome music video featuring a lot of claymation, carnage, and violence. Then he did a short film I have not seen called Joanna Died and Went to Hell. But from what I could gather, like from reviews, is basically like a practice run for Debbie Does Damnation, which came out in 1999. And after 1999, do you know where I'm going with this? Have you looked this up?
No, I
Miguel?
haven't really looked into it. No.
Okay, so after Debbie Does Damnation in 1999, he doesn't make another actual uh Hul movie again. Instead, he begins making movies like the following: Cocksmokers 10, Luciano's Lucky Ladies, Extreme Gangbang, Fuck Pigs 2, Fuck Pigs 3, Sexual Overdrive, Extreme Teen 2, Extreme
Get hot.
Gangbang 3, Sluts, Butts, and Housewives too. I mean, he doesn't make original movies, just sequels. Extreme Big Tits 3, Extreme Teen Fool, Extreme Teen 5, Extreme Gangbang 2, Fresh Face 2000. Fuck. I Love to Fuck, Let Us Pray, Manhandled, Violence on Violence. Do you think that's a pill now? Uh, Jizz Junkies, Psycho Pussy, Wally Winkle's Candy Factory. I Love to Swallow 2, Legal Skin 1, Legal Skin 2, Kung Fu Grilled, Asian Fever, Young Stuff 3, University Coeds, Sex Addicts, Legal Skin 3, Kung Fu 2, Young Stuff 5, Cock Brutality. He did 3 episodes of the TV show Cock Brutality. The Kelly Kick-Ass Show, New Chicks on the Cock 2, Cock Crazy Quickies 2, uh, New Chicks on the Cock Phil, Piln Dumbass, This Ain't Ghost Tunnels XXX, This Ain't Intervention XXX, This Ain't Cheadles XXX. Last movie he made was in 2010, and that was the one I just said. Nothing since. I found an obit that had a very similar name to his and also was born in the 60s, which is according to IMDb, the same decade he was born. And so this guy died not that long ago. So it's really possible, same dude. Couldn't find anything else about him online. Might be dead, might be alive. Really difficult to tell. But he made Debbie Does Deb. This is a really difficult title to say. Debbie Does Damnation, and then just proceeded to make a bunch of porno movies. And he just, which is, I don't know, a little bit of a bummer, I think, because he's really good at fucking claymation and strange, spooky imagery. And I mean, I haven't seen his porno movies. It's really possible he made pornographic films featuring claymation, which sounds awesome. I haven't seen them, so I can't say one way or the other.
We salute you, Slain Wayne. I gotta say, first,
Yeah,
did that make you happy reading all those names?
it was great.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought you might. I let you
Frank
kind of have it.
Frank calmed down immediately. He laid down. He's good to go. It's like I put him to sleep.
I think you put a lot of people to sleep. I'm just kidding.
Pretty good. Pretty
No,
good.
but I gotta say, before we get into it, right off the bat, this is the most fun that I've had watching a movie for this show. This was a great movie. It was like I put in my notes, it's like so inventive and creative, and like it does drag a little bit, but like it's only an hour and 3 minutes. No, it's even less than that, right? Because it's 50 minutes and then there's like a 13-minute
Making
behind
of.
the scenes
Yeah.
making of. So it's really only 50 minutes. And in those 50 minutes, he manages to do so much with so little. So
And how did we watch
definitely
it?
recommend.
If we
Like,
someone wants to check this out, we watched it on the Internet Archives.
yeah,
Um,
I'm so grateful that it's available because this needs to be seen. I mean, it's
yeah.
so much fun.
I think if you just Google Debbie Does Damnation, maybe even add Internet Archive, you will find it. It's one of the really first results. As far as I can tell, it was never released like on DVD or anything. Also, I need to mention at this point that I did screw up a little bit. This is a shot on video podcast, but this movie was not shot on video. This might be the first time we've broken the rule unintentionally because I did find this on a Letterboxd list about SOV movies, but I'm beginning just to accept the fact that most like lists that advertise a lot of SOV movies and recommendations, they're using SOV as just like DIY, basically. They're not actually talking about shot on video. And that's the case with this movie. It's not shot on video, but it's shot on Super 8. But it feels like a SOV movie anyway. It has like the same vibes to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but what I don't understand is like at some point during the movie, you'll see like what is the word? Some words will come on the screen. Is it
Hi-fi.
like hi-fi, right?
Yeah.
So that's like that's what you would see on a camcorder. So I guess I'm not 100% sure exactly how you shoot on Super 8 and how that's different
Yeah.
from shot on video. And I will be hosting a shot on video panel at a Ghoulish Book Festival. So come on down.
I'm
I
glad I have
honestly
an
have a lot to
expert
say.
moderating it.
Yeah. No, but I just like you're saying, this feels like shot on video. Like everything that's down to the budget, the acting, the quality, the audio, everything feels like shot on video. So maybe it's cheating a little bit, but I don't think anybody would be upset about that. But one thing I did want to mention is there is a lot of nudity here. Female nudity, there's some male nudity as well.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of female nudity and there's some bondage shit and stuff. And so it's like you can literally see how he it's not a surprise that he would go
Yeah.
from Debbie Does Damnation to a career in porn, you know?
Yeah. If anything, the surprise was that he made this before making film because I would have assumed it was the other way around, that he was already actively making pornography. But I mean, maybe he was
Yeah.
and it just didn't come out. But this came before the pornography, and that was a bit of a shock to me.
And we can talk about it a little bit afterwards, but in the making of documentary, he is talking about making the film and how much it costs and blah blah blah. And at one point he's like, and there was a X-rated version and an R-rated version. We saw the R-rated version, but apparently there's an X-rated version. And he's like, and I got those I was able to do that cut based off of my friend Slane Wayne, who does, X-rated movies. I'm like, wait, that's you. He was
Yeah.
trying to differentiate himself. And for me, it feels like this kid whose father is in the porn industry, and ever since he was born he was known that he was going to be going in the porn industry as well, and this is his one chance to make a not porn film. And his dad said, you can make one movie and after that it's into the porn business with you, and this is it. He laid it all on the line here.
It's a classic story, man, of a dad forcing his son to get into the porn industry. It's pretty sad. That's why, we didn't mention this yet, but we're all taking donations for a new charity cause to remove children from pornographic filmmaking households. Donate anything you want to patreon.com/decayed tapes, and that money will go to a good cause.
Yeah. I mean, when you put it like that, children who are in pornographic households, we should probably get those kids out of there
Seems pretty
regardless. But
judgmental of you, but yeah.
yeah, I will spend that money. Any money you put in. Actually, no. So far the money that goes into Patreon
Goes
goes towards
nowhere.
podcasting.
Goes nowhere. I still haven't connected my bank account to it.
Okay. Well, you got a couple dollars there waiting for you.
Yeah, I need to do that. I keep forgetting. But yeah, podcast hosting is not free, surprisingly. So we appreciate anything you could throw away. I am definitely beginning to realize this now that I am hosting full podcasts for some reason. Really dumb idea on my part. But yeah, we do the Ghoulish Podcast Network. We do this. We do the Ghoulish podcast, Miguel's podcast, My Whole Confessional, and I just launched a new podcast called Dog Yields, which depressingly has more downloads than most of the other podcasts I do. It's really crushing. Please tell people about Decayed Tapes.
People love dogs, man. It was a good, you know what though? I'll give it to you. I heard the episode. It was a really great episode. You're a really good storyteller. You have a lot of experience when it comes to publishing, and unfortunately with shitty publishers in your early career. It was a great episode. You guys should go give it a chance and listen to it.
Thank you. Um,
Yes.
Debbie Does Damnation. What a great title just to
Yeah.
begin with. He came up with that title like he had to have come up with that title first. I have a question though to begin. The log line says something about Debbie committing suicide and then going to hell. Is there any part in the movie that mentions the suicide angle? Because I didn't get
No,
that.
not at all. No. So the woman wakes up. Well, uh eventually after a couple minutes we see her waking up in this really terrible place, but never is it mentioned about suicide. In fact, I read the same thing on IMDb. Let me just read it real quick. Debbie goes to hell after she commits suicide. When she gets there, she finds herself in the middle of a power struggle. The devil asks her to get his horns back so that he can regain control of his realm. Um, so nowhere are we supposed to know that she commits suicide, but there's some pretty good imagery here later on with a guardian angel and all that sort of
Hmm.
stuff, and we'll get to it. Um, So I think for what it was worth, man, it was just a really fun ride. Really good.
Yeah, I mean I'm a sucker for claymation, and this movie has so
Yeah,
much
you did a
cool
claymation.
claymation in it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a masterful claymation artist, some would say.
You're currently what we're seeing right now on the Patreon is Max as Clay, and
Yeah.
every second he's moving just slightly. Uh,
Claymation's a pain in the ass. I don't know if you've ever fucked around with it, but I used to a lot more than I do now, and it's really difficult. It's not easy.
I
It
remember
seems
you
like it
sent
would,
us a like a 10-second snippet, or maybe I don't know how long it was. I think it was
yeah,
one of for your book trailers or something
yeah.
of the claymation, and it looked
I think I've made like
pretty
10
intense.
small videos with it. They're all on my YouTube channel, so go to the Ghoulish YouTube. You can check them out. They're not great, but they're fun to do if you have like a lot of empty time. And I'm sure Debbie Does Damnation took a lot of time. In the making of, I think he said it took like 3 yields, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure they shot the live action stuff pretty quickly,
Hmm.
and the claymation stuff, maybe he came back afterwards and did it. But yeah, let's do you want to get into it?
I've been into it, baby.
All right. So so one of the reasons why I feel like this felt like shot on video immediately is you get that blue screen to start with, right?
Yeah.
So maybe this is a recording of somebody's recording, and that's how we got it.
I think it is
Maybe.
because the on the Internet Archive, the title says VHS rip. So obviously they took it from a VHS.
Oh, okay. So that's maybe that explains the hi-fi parts that come up on the screen. And I was thinking that it was so low budget that when they were shooting it and the hi-fi came up, they're like, "Fuck it, we can't go back and do anything about it." But yeah, there's static, there's feedback, there's like a mogged out synth, which I love. There's like student film close-ups. It's black and white immediately. And we see like to me, I was immediately like, was somebody just missing a face there? And then we see there's like eyes in a skeleton in a skull, black leather gloves, like tearing a face apart. It's bloody and squelching. Immediately, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool already.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. A little tricked because in my notes I began writing that this woman that we see is Debbie. It's not Debbie. We got bamboozled.
Um, well, it is her.
No, it's a different actress, dude.
Hold on. Well, let's get to it. Let's go through it first, right?
Yeah,
So like then we see like it's monster. He's like there's cannibal. He's like a cannibal monster basically.
some type of fucking
His look
demon.
was yeah, it was a demon essentially. His eyes are closed, but the makeup on his eyes is white. So it looks like they're open, and there's lines drawn on his skin to look like texture, like in old comic books. And it looks really cool. I really like the design. And it was just simple, cheap makeup, but it looked really cool. Um, and for
Yeah,
me, it was kind of a reminiscent of at the end of Night of the Living Dead when Sally is eating either her dad's arm or her mom's dad. I forget who. Her mom's arm or her dad's arm. I forget which one it is, but that whole scene where it's like the music is going and like just the horribleness of it. That's what I was getting from here. And then a naked woman wakes up and she's like hogtied and she's like struggling. And at this point, I felt like I was watching a segment of a Six Sad World. Six Sad World. You ever watch it? Were you a Dharma fan? A Daria fan?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Daria, MTV. No, you just watch Beavis and Butthead. You were just a Beavis and Butthead kid, huh?
I mean, I know Beavis and Butthead. Didn't really watch much of it. This is MTV. I didn't have MTV, man. I didn't have cable.
All right.
I
Okay.
had like
All right. All
fucking
right.
six channels growing up. It
Well,
was
at least
just
two people got
Fox.
that
We just watched
reference.
Fox. Fox
And that's
News.
why you're right wing right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it. I
As
knew it.
a
Yeah.
kid, honestly, as a kid, I didn't realize as little like news stations even existed. Like I didn't even realize like, oh, my family is pretty Republican until I moved. Like it didn't even occur to me. It wasn't something I thought about. But yeah, I mean, we always just had Fox News on. But you know, Fox had pretty good programming. Like you had Simpsons and X-Files and Futurama. No, Futurama, I don't think was on Fox.
You really like that Apprentice show, right?
Yeah, I
That was on
mean,
Fox.
whatever
Okay.
happened to that host? He was pretty smooth.
You voted for him.
I will do it again. Can't wait.
Um, we see
This
now that the no, you didn't understand my Six Sad World reference, so I'm gonna keep going. I'm hurt by
What
that.
does that mean? Is that a show?
It's in Daria. The Daria is a cartoon,
Yeah, I know.
right? On MTV.
I know of that show. I don't know. I haven't
Okay.
seen it though.
In that show, her and her best friend watch a TV show called Sick Sad World, where they show sick, disgusting stuff, like a Faces of Death sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I was picturing. Daria is a lot of fun. You should go back
All
and
right,
watch it.
I was gonna ask, was that a recommend? I'll check it out.
To be fair, I haven't watched it in 20 years, but I'm sure it probably holds up still. It probably holds up better than Beavis and Butthead, which you watch every day when you wake up
Yeah,
with your
dude.
morning coffee.
Why are you so mean?
Because you
All
didn't get my
this,
reference. I
all
feel
this
old
gotcha
now.
journalism from you is really aggressive.
So we see the zombie. So I thought it was a zombie at this, but I didn't know what the fuck it was. But
I also wrote
he,
zombie.
yeah, that's the energy. And he comes out of the room, the door of which had hell written on it. Like, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
we get it. If we didn't know now, we get it. And the shambling and the eyes look great. Walks up to the tied woman and says, it's like it's really creepy. It's like nice skin, smooth skin as it runs its hands over her. And I'm like, no, no, no. If you're talking, you're not a zombie, and this is assault. This is bad.
I think he
If you're a
says,
zombie,
yeah.
yeah, you can touch. Well, you can't touch, but it's different.
What about
we can
in
touch.
Return of the Living Dead? They talk in that.
Yeah, but it's more like brains. It's not like nice tits.
So you're just policing language at this point.
Yes, at this point I am.
You
Yeah.
know what? I know we're talking about a movie, but I gotta bring something up here, okay? You and your fucking policing the way people talk. It's getting on my last goddamn nerve. I have a question for anyone listening to this fucking podcast,
Bring it.
okay? So let's say you call somebody, okay? You call somebody you know, they pick up, maybe they say hello, who knows what they say. Do you then say hello, or do you get into the reason that you called? And if you do say hello, why? What is wrong with you? Hello is for the person answering the phone, not the person making the phone call. It doesn't make any sense. Miguel thinks you should say hello both times. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. It is aggravating, and I hate it.
It doesn't have to be hello. It just has to be an acknowledgement. Hey, hi, what's up? What's going on? That, not hello, but an acknowledgement. Yes.
Miguel,
That's what I'm saying.
you had me at hello.
Miguel is not an acknowledgement. Saying my name, or like you're the type of person somebody calls you, you're like, go.
Yeah.
Is that fun? Yeah.
No, no, I
That's
just I pick it up and I go booth. It's like I'm in a
yeah.
TV show.
No, this came about because I saw Max on multiple occasions call his wife, the lovely Lori, who call her and she picks up. I don't know what she says. She might say hi. I'm pretty sure she does. She says something on her end, and then you just go into it. No acknowledgement, no hello, no hi. Hey, honey, how are you? I love you. I missed you. Nothing.
Yeah. Maybe that
Yeah,
would
and you
change if
do that
you
to other people.
maybe that would change if you knew what she said when she picked up the phone. She
What did
goes,
she say? Did she
"What's
say
up,
you
my
bastard?
N-world?"
No. So I don't edit this out. You have to
I
edit it.
just self-edited myself by not saying it. We all know I would
Okay.
say we feel on a podcast. Let's move
So this
on.
is so you are a product of your Fox News watching family.
You don't blame me, blame my father.
There you go.
Thank
All
you.
right. So the thing tells her to shut up. She's like, "You're a fresh soul." And we see his teeth, and they're like piranha fangs. I thought it looked really cool.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "You're gonna be our dinner."
Mm-hmm.
She fights back. She's like, "Fuck you." And he's like,
Yeah.
"I'll be back. I'm gonna get my knife." So this guy is like a ghoul or something,
Mm-hmm.
and he's walking away laughing. He says, "I'll bring my sword too." And all of this is dubbed. At this point, I was like, okay, they're not even trying to like put an accent on it or anything like that. It's just like your next door neighbor talking to you. It's like just a normal voice saying, I'm gonna get my knife too.
I love when she said fuck you because it really like went against expectations of what type of movie I thought I was about to watch. Immediately, like that fuck you is what got me like on like, okay, this is gonna be a fun time. And yeah, I think all the audio is just dubbed. Oddly enough, the audio dubbing like on the inanimate objects seem to be better than humans, which I found kind of interesting.
Yeah. And then, so I wasn't sold yet, but then my note is, oh shit, the stop motion skull with eyes, spider legs, and sometimes the British accent comes and goes.
Yeah.
But I was like, this could be very cool. I didn't realize, so I didn't watch a trailer for this. I didn't know what the fuck I was going into.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was going to be, I don't, maybe there isn't even a trailer. I don't know. But I didn't realize it was gonna be stop motion. It's
You
when I
did.
saw that, I was like, did I? Did you tell
When
me?
I told you about it, I even sent you a photo of the spider skull. I said, "Look at
This
this."
thing,
Yeah,
this thing behind me?
I
Yeah.
sent that to
I
you,
don't
but you don't look at my messages. You don't acknowledge me.
Max, Max, we see each other enough. Why do I need to respond? No, I just forgot. But yeah, so this was looked really cool, and I really dug it. What did you think about this thing?
Oh, I loved it. The eyes are so great. The way they just kind of bug out. Um,
Yeah,
the whole design is awesome. I think it was made probably like with paper mache and clay. And the way it moves is awesome. I love the way claymation moves. It's so like uncanny and strange and out of this universe.
this feels to me like Sam Raimi, like early Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell getting together and fucking around with some friends. I saw Army of Darkness last week at Terror Tuesday here in Austin, and I was literally sitting in the front row 30 feet, like a 30-foot wide or tall screen. It was ridiculous, but awesome. Like the biggest Bruce Campbell has ever been. And before that, they showed like this short movie that they made in the late 70s. Obviously before Evil Dead. And it was like it was some like
Within the Woods.
satire for commercials.
Oh.
No, it was like these commercial satires where like this lady is fighting off like the Pillsbury Doughboy or some shit like that. And there's just like monsters coming out everywhere. And it was in black and white and low production. And it was like stop motion stuff too, you know? I was like, this feels like that. This feels like Sam Raimi, you know?
Hmm.
But yeah, so I really was really digging this.
I think that's a great comparison, especially to Elmia Darkness, because later on we do get skeletons and monster sword fighting. It's really cool. And there's also
Yeah.
some shades of Evil Dead 1 with in just a minute because we get a body melting out of clay, which is super cool. Um,
Always love it, you know?
you're right though, that the British accent does change off and on, but it's like, hello. Would you like to go on a quest? It almost feels like a video game with this monster just like springing up out of nowhere, saying, "If I untie you and give you the shield, will you?" And then you kill this great beast that's coming back. You then have to go and do a quest for me. And what is the quest?
Yeah. She has to get the devil's horns for him, which is, I mean, immediately wrote down, fuck yeah. Like, this feels like we're setting up something that's gonna be really great,
Hmm.
which it was. So I was on fully on board here. Um, so she agrees, but it's like basically like hurry because the monster's gonna be back. He takes his time and,
He's
he
eating.
repeats it. Yeah,
He's
and
too
he
busy
repeats the
eating.
same shit. And
My note was he's so excited that this woman has arrived because now he can has dinner. He has dinner, but he's in the process of just grubbing down. But I can't judge him because like when I'm like eating lunch, I'm also thinking like, what am I gonna have for dinner tonight? Same thing.
same thing. Yeah. Um, so then he goes on and says, "This is not going to be easy for me since I don't have fingers." Says the ropes are too thick, so I can't chew through them. But and then he gets distracted. He's like, "You have a nice ass," and
Please
he's
say
licking
that
his
in
teeth.
a British accent.
Fuck. Hello, governor. You have a nice ass. I'm terrible. That
Yeah, that was she's not a
was
governor though,
offensive.
so before we confuse anyone, just a naked woman who is in hell. Well, she might have been a
Yeah,
governor. We don't know.
exactly. Wow, that's really sexist of you. She
Yeah,
could
I
have been.
know.
She was the doctor. Did you ever think of that?
She's a doctor.
But she's a doctor governor. He says he got a nice ass. She's like, watch it, scum or skull. I couldn't, some of the audio was kind of messed up here. Um, it finishes untying her and it says it's going to meet her up front. She grabs a sword. Friend of the show, Andrew Hilbert just logged online. That was what you heard in the background. I should have,
I didn't hear anything.
you didn't hear it. Okay, cool.
No. My stomach was making some crazy noises at the time, though. It's been
Yeah,
growling since we began doing this. I keep having to mute myself. I think it's because I haven't eaten anything since like 9.
that's crazy. I've eaten multiple times
I'm
since
so hungry.
then. All right. So she grabs a sword, kills the beast, claymation style. Like we see, she swings her sword up, I think, and then they switch to claymation, and chops it. It falls on the floor, and it's like, you think you killed me? Nothing dies in hell. The demon body decomposes into clay and is like remolded into like a snail of some sort. Then it goes underneath the floorboards, breaks out, and it's like this horned dinosaur looking thing.
It
This is when we
reminded
get those high.
me it reminded me
Yeah,
of
good.
the realm from the sand realm from Beetlejuice. That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a great comparison too. I mean, just obviously not as high quality.
You I just lost your audio.
It, it's because I burped for a second.
Oh,
Then I muted my mic.
mid-sentence. Pretty good.
No,
Pretty
no,
good.
really. I didn't think it was mid-sentence. I thought I finished my sentence. I think there might be a delay.
No, there's no delay. You
Okay.
just
I thought what did I finish? What was I saying?
you were saying not
Uh,
as high quality though. I guess that could have been the end of the sentence.
that was the end of the sentence. Yeah. All right. You're killing me.
Leaving this all
You're-
in. Love podcasting with you.
Oh, see, and there I didn't hit the
Did you say something?
stop it. She's driving me crazy. All right. She tries to escape through the dungeon, but the beast, dinosaur thing, finds her and eats her
Yeah.
again in glorious claymation vision. The demon dinosaur says something here, but the fidelity was so bad I couldn't make it out. I don't know if you
Yeah.
made it out, but
No.
it's something about her though. Then we see this spider skull is what I think what I named it, and he says, "Where can he find a worthy person in this hellhole?" And then something about a new one coming.
Hmm.
The lizard goes away, or the dinosaur goes away, and then Skull Spider says, "Fuck off, asshole," which I
Yeah.
loved. And then, so you're saying at this point she's dead?
Yeah,
At thi-
because
because
I think I made out more of the dialogue than you did. But basically the dinosaur thing is saying you need to find someone that is actually built the challenge of getting the devil's horns. And now this new one's coming, and he said something about her name is Debbie. So I think it's just like a separate
oh,
person coming who they will then try to also do this quest. But it doesn't really make a lot of sense, and I don't think it's supposed to make a lot of sense. Like while they actively try killing these people, they want to do this quest. I don't quite know, and it's not like Debbie fights this realm at any point. I don't think so. What is the challenge
yeah,
exactly? I don't know. I don't think anyone knows.
yeah. It's okay. So then, yeah, I didn't hear that part. I couldn't make out the part about her name being Debbie. So then they're two completely different people. I don't even know who plays Debbie in this movie. On IMDb, there's just the actors' names, no character names.
It, I'm
Except for like Duke Flyswatter and Eric Brummer, but no, like there's no character names.
Yeah, I don't
So
know. I just knew the faces of the two women were different, and they had different voices, so that's why I recognize they were different actresses. But even
okay,
the end credits of the movie, I couldn't read them because of the way they were made. It was like the the coloring on it was too blended into the background. I couldn't make out any of what it said.
yeah. So then, yeah, I will agree that it's a new person. So what I thought it was, she dies, but because you're in hell, you probably die over and over and over again. But so we see this news person. Apparently, she committed suicide based on what IMDb says, and she has wings. Her guardian angel tries to save her. Both women are naked, and then they're cutting between real life people and then like Barbies with clay wings, like hanging from string.
Yeah,
And
pretty good.
something is yeah, it looked great. Something is grabbing her foot, preventing her from going up. And her guardian angel tells her it's her sins trying to drag her down. And then her guardian angels, her eyes are like stitched shut, and she's like, she can't see or hear evil. And she transforms the lower they go, the lower they get to hell, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
So at this point, I was like, this better not be a churchy movie because it was giving me some like repent your sins, don't commit suicide sort of thing, which I guess is a good message. Don't commit suicide, but like I just didn't want it to be a church thing, but it wasn't, so that was good.
It
But
really
she
much
falls
was
anyway.
not.
Yes, yeah. She falls anyway, and is it immediately like bondage wrapped? I mean, like wrapped in her sins, I guess.
I guess.
And yeah, a horned creature approaches her and is like, "What do we have here?" She breaks free of her bondage ties and runs away. At this point, I was picturing you watching this in the lobby of your bookshop, but then I remembered that today's Monday and it's closed, right? You're
Yeah.
closed today.
So there's some pretty odd, suspicious sound effects in this movie that made me glad that nobody was looking at the flower shop next to us because I would have been deeply embarrassed, I think.
And the walls are like paper thin, right? You hear them
Yeah.
all the time.
If
Yeah.
they order like a pizza, I know what they get on it. It's pretty thin.
Max, stop talking about food, please.
I'm so hungry,
This is
man.
a shot on video podcast. Please control yourself.
Okay.
Um, and for people on the Patreon, you're getting a glance at Max's relationship with his dog. He's just hugging it here, hugging and kissing Frank over and over again while we talk about this strange, strange movie.
What about it?
No, I'm just interested. Thought it was
He's
interesting.
sleepy.
He's a good boy. He's
Yeah.
actually a shit dog. No, I'm kidding. Frank's
He
cool.
is when he's around like other people. It's really annoying. If it's just him
Mhm.
and I, like as you see, he's pretty calm.
Do
So
you did you have any additional notes at this section here?
I am trying to make out my shitty handwriting. I did this by pen. Oh, how would you have described the demon that confronted her when she fell? I couldn't decide if it was a pig face or a rabbit face. It was really odd. It was like almost a Donnie Darko mask.
Yeah, I thought like I would say pig face. Yeah,
Okay.
and then she breaks free and like she runs away.
Oh
Then
yeah.
we get this two head.
Before we get to the two-headed, it was a pretty cool like 2-second cutaway to like a tiny code build maze that he must have made and like millionetting with string a Belby just going through it. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, I didn't even know. I must have been looking down taking notes.
Yeah,
I
because it
didn't
was
even
like an
see.
overhead shot of the maze from a distance, and obviously they didn't have the budget to film from an actual maze. So it was just like the Belby, a naked Belby doll going doop, 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 doop.
Have you ever seen the movie Dave Made a Maze?
I have. Pretty good.
It's what you're describing and all the like do it yourself sort of stuff kind of reminded me of it, that one. I think I'm going to recommend that one at the end here.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
What I took away from it was like almost an accidental adaptation of the book House of Leaves, if you've ever read it.
No, I'm too intimidated to pick up that book.
I um I would recommend that book. I read it when I was like 16 though, so it might suck. I don't know. I don't know.
Did
It's
you
been
just
a while.
power through? Like it's like a puzzle, right? Like you just gotta.
I wasn't lost or confused. I found myself obsessed with it because it is almost like a cryptic type of book that you have to just completely embrace. Like those sections that you can only read if you hold it in front of something that like reflects. And I was like doing that like at 3 a.m., sleep deprived, just obsessed with it as a teen. It's a
Mhm.
good book.
Okay,
It's,
I might give
it's
it a shot.
like it's like two different stories going on. Like you have the main book, but then those footnotes on the bottom of each page that is telling a different story that's also going on. It's a fucking trip.
I wonder how the audiobook is.
Probably awful.
All right, so we get this two-headed clay monster. It's like fresh meat. They're always saying fresh meat. This is said multiple times. And if you're picking up my stomach grumbles now, I apologize.
Yeah.
Max has been
It's
nonstop talking
contagious.
about food, and
You
now
keep
I'm talking
seeing
about.
my dog, man.
Yeah,
That's what it
that's
is.
exactly what it is.
The
So
two-headed monstrel, which I think is
mm,
made only out of clay, also
yeah,
has a
yeah,
pretty good
completely clear.
dong going on as well, which I appreciated. Monstrel
Yeah,
dongs.
always appreciate that. She backs away, but backs right into that first monster who grabs her. She manages to escape and makes it to looks like a regular bedroom at this point. Like it just looked like it was his room, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Um, but the monster's hand makes it into the doorway. So while she's holding the door shut, she hears some noise from underneath a blanket on the floor, and it's like saying "Free us!" And she reaches and uncovers the the noise and the removes the blanket, and it's just some body parts that immediately start attacking her.
Yeah.
Again, the Evil Dead vibes with this.
Absolutely. I loved it. It even like them saying free ass reminded me of like the lady in the basement who kept trying to escape, who's like, let us
Yeah,
go. I mean, obviously Evil Dead came out way before this did, so I'm sure it was an influence of some type.
yeah. I can't believe that this was 1999. Like this feels like timeless, but also like feels like it should have been done in the 80s.
I agree.
Like,
I also can't believe like it's not really that well known. I just stumbled upon it by accident. But like this should be a classic. Like this should be a fucking like Vinegal Syndrome or television release. I wonder if they just can't get the rights to it. I mean, obviously, Bleeding Skull knows about it because they wrote a review on the website. But I don't know. It seems like a classic in the making that isn't really known.
yeah, this seems like a perfect Vinegar Syndrome release
Mm.
because of all the nudity. They have their that's one of their things that they focus on or they have a lot of. And then this feels like if Sergeant Lunch finds its home on Blu-ray as a release like that with them or with their partner labels, there's no reason that like Debbie Does Damnation doesn't have like a release at the very least, just not even a 4K, maybe a 2K, right? But
Anything, yeah.
I'm yeah. But so she runs away, she finds a hidden room and goes inside and starts crying. Spider Skull comes out again and asks her for help, but she's like, I'm the one in trouble and leaves. He's like, you fucking bitch. So my question is Spider Skull like playing? He seems to be on both sides
I have the same
of the
notes.
war,
Yeah.
but also he's out for himself as well. Like he's trying to get the horns to become the the ruler
Yeah,
of
it
hell,
wants
so to
to
say.
secretly take over everything, I think, is what's going on. Really complex plot, I think. This, but there's also around, I think right after this, right? We jump to like some type of man in hell who's like, "Oh, I have a splitting headache." And then his head splits in half and
Look great.
a different skull with bat wings comes out. And this brings me to something I've been dying to ask you about. Are you familiar with the band Avenged Sevenfold, Miguel?
Yeah, I've definitely heard of them.
Do you
I
know what
think
the
I might
logo
even.
looks like?
Oh, yeah, is it that?
Please
Is that what
Google
it
it right
is?
now. I would like to see your
Of
reaction. Avenged Sevenfold logo. And as you talk, I'll mention this movie came out in 1999. Avenged Sevenfold filmed in 1999.
oh yeah, this
It's
is
the same thing.
essentially yeah, yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, it's kind of basic skull and bat wings.
Yeah,
I wonder
both
if it's
in
been around
1999.
before. Yeah, I know that's true.
Pretty
What this movie is
suspicious.
so small. Yeah, I agree. I think they probably stole it, and they're probably assholes.
Well, I looked it up. I couldn't find any mention of both this movie and this band. I found an interview where they talked about the genesis of the bat skull, which is what they call the logo. And they just said, "Oh, we were like 17 and we wanted a logo. So we went to this guy we knew who drew things and we said, 'Can you draw a bat with wings?'" But it's like They're obviously in denial. They saw this movie and they were like, let's have that. It's
I
too much of a coincidence.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Um, w- is their music cringe now, or are they still cool? Like, do people still like Avenged Sevenfold?
I don't think it's cool to like Avenged Sevenfold now. There was a time in this
Okay.
country when it was pretty cool, but I don't think it is now.
Is it like
haven't
emo
listened.
stuff?
No, it's real screaming and rock and a little punk maybe, held cool
Okay.
stuff. I think they kind of defy like a single genre. But
Okay.
it's mostly forgettable music is the thing. It's like it doesn't really stand out. They mostly were famous because of that song Backcountry, which came out like in 2000, Phil, 2005, something like that. And
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know anything
It
about.
it gained a lot of popularity because the song was all over the place, but also the music video was taking like scenes from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas because there's a scene in that movie where they're like, "Oh no, we can't go that way. It's backcountry." So that's like what the song is riffing off of. I evidently know a lot about Avenged Sevenfold. I didn't realize that
Apparently.
until now. I used to be a fan. I used to like them. But
Okay.
I haven't listened to an album in at least like 15 years though. It's been a long time.
Okay. This has been the Avenged Sevenfold podcast.
I want
Thank you all
everybody
for subscribing.
I want everybody to watch this movie and then go Google the logo. It's pretty damning.
Yeah. But still the design here in this movie looks really cool. And
Yeah,
even the effect of the splitting headache, the head splitting open looked really cool. I really dug it.
I agree.
Um he flies, so like this creature now flies to another naked lady. At some point there were so many naked ladies, and like I lost track.
Me too.
So just watch this movie. But then he goes to another naked lady, but this, at least she has the winged skull John on her chest, and he tells her to kill Debbie and cut off her head and bring it to him, or else Debbie's going to screw this place up, which apparently he really likes how it's happening right now. And then they like turn around and Debbie is immediately there. There's not like no quest to find her or anything. Just like, oh, okay, I'll kill her. She's right there in the very same room.
Yeah, and we get like a really every sealed fight in this movie is terrible, and it's almost like they're afraid to swing it. And when watching the making of, I realized they were afraid to swing it because the shields were made out of wood, basically. The guy who made it, he hand carved all the shields with wood, and he probably didn't make that many, so I assume they didn't want to fuck any of them up because that would mean having to stop production for like a month to carve a shield. I mean, how long does that
Yeah.
take? I don't know.
What are you, a craftsman? How much time? A month of wood carving for one sword?
I don't know. I've never done anything with wood. You a
What are you,
woodman?
Hattori Hanzo?
No.
That was pretty good. That was a pretty good reference, I thought.
I thought so too. It's your favorite filmmaker, right? Quentin
Yeah,
Tarantino.
yeah.
Cool.
Um, so Debbie slashes off that lady's arm and repeatedly strikes her, kills her. And then she's like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" And she drops the sword and she runs away. So typical horror movie.
Yeah. But
Um,
then, speaking of Quentin Tarantino, she's apprehended by a man in a gimp mask.
okay, all right. I didn't notice that part,
Was that
but
not a
I'm
gimp
sure.
mask? It's some type of black mask with a zipper on it. He has nothing else on. He grabs it and begins tying it to like a seat, right?
Yeah, yeah. And she like, uh, uh, sexually struggling.
And
Hey,
he
anybody
see.
listening? I'll do it. I'll do it again for you. Uh, uh, like that.
I hope someone isolates that audio and ruins your life.
You know what I hope somebody does is isolates you when you're like saying cum guzzler. Like I love cum guzzling. Like the names of all the goddamn, they're gonna isolate that shit too. Fuck.
I was just gonna bring that up that
I
you were the
screwed
one who
myself.
said
Hold on one second. Max, I have to pause it for a second. Sorry. One second.
So
Sorry,
something
we had
that
to pause it for a second because my wife heard cum guzzling and was like, "What?" So go ahead.
without me. So something that made me laugh a lot is as he was tying Hill up, and she was doing those noises. Would you do those noises again for me, please?
Uh, uh, uh,
He seemed genuinely annoyed. He kept going, "Stop it! Stop moving! Stop it!"
yeah.
And I don't think he could do it. I don't think it was meant to be that long. I just don't think he was able to tie that woman up. He was having a difficult time.
He was like, "Really? Come on, Clarice, whatever the heck her real name is." Yeah, I noticed that too. Everybody, there's a character later on that is my favorite fucking character in the movie. It is just talking like normal, like you would to a regular person. Like, oh man, it's good. I can't wait. So nobody talks naturally in this movie.
No,
It's
and it's
like
all
naturally like you would in the scenario, you know?
yeah. I think all of it's dubbed too. Like, so they later on like watched the movie and just did the voices like you would a cartoon. And I'm convinced there was no script either. I think they just winged it.
Yeah, yeah. Bat winged it. Skull bat wing.
What happens next?
So the two naked dudes bring out a head in a box and it opens up and it's the supreme being, otherwise known as the devil, and his horns are missing. And there's a bunch of close-up shots of her boobies at this point. And the face of the supreme being kind of resembles Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were getting that's what I was getting.
No, I can't recall the name of the person who made this movie, but feels like a Milk Twain claymation movie that involves the devil, and it's fucking crazy looking, and it looks kind of like that.
Okay. I'll have
Yeah,
to check it out.
I'm blanking on the name. I should have wrote it down, but if you type in like anyone listening, if you want to find it, like Google like a Milk Twain claymation creepy perhaps, and you will find the scene I'm talking about. It's really similar, I think. But I could see how
If
you
you
saw
like,
Freddy Krueger.
yeah. If you like claymation, did you see that movie that came out a year or two ago, Mad God?
Oh, I want to. I
It-
keep meaning to watch it.
that is claymation, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
I think
I
so.
haven't seen it, but I saw a trailer for it, I believe.
It's at the very least stop motion. I don't know if it's claymation because I haven't seen it, so I don't quite know.
Oh yeah, I guess isn't all claymation stop motion?
Yes, but
I
not
f-
all stop motion is claymation.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the devil is like, I need you to get my horns back. He's like, it's a long story, but I'll tell you anyway. And I was like, oh fuck, I thought we were gonna get this a quick one. So it's kind of funny there.
Yeah.
Um, Basically, he had two generals or generals in his army. Somebody in later on in the description of the movie, it says like slaves, so maybe they're slaves, whatever. He taught them everything he knew, and they betrayed him. They cut him up, they cut off his head and cut off his horns, which is where his power lies. And we see all this in claymation, and they're switching back and forth between claymation and live action,
Yeah.
which I really thought added a lot of production value to this.
It I believe that it took 3 years to make this together. It must have been such a pain in the ass, I think, to do these practical effects, but they look so good. Um
Mm.
Also, life lesson, if you have slaves, don't teach them everything you know. Bad idea. For any slave masters out there who might be listening. Like,
So what happens next?
let's see.
Well, then they then fought amongst themselves for the other horn, but they
Yeah.
were so evenly matched that hell was divided into two. So I don't know if this is a story that's been told. Like I don't really know about the devil or hell or anything like that. I didn't really look a lot into it, but so maybe this is a story that's been told a lot, and it's just like the archetype of a story, whatever. But this is really cool. Like two slaves rise up against their former master, kill them. take his power and then turn on each other, but were so evenly divided that they couldn't kill each other, and so they ended up just dividing hell into two. That's a
Yeah,
really great kernel of a story.
I agree. And I also don't know if it's been done. I enjoyed the hell out of it. And like now, from what I could gather, because like the next 20 minutes or so are kind of fuzzy to me. It's like these
Mm,
two guys each have their own type of like enemy. One has like an enemy of naked ladies, and one has like an enemy of men and also demons. And they seem to be in this constant state of fighting. Is that how you took
yeah,
that?
that's exactly what happens. He says he's still talking to Debbie. He's like, Debbie? Yeah, he's still talking to Debbie and is like, yeah, I'll give you a soldier to go with you or whatever. And then basically they go off, and then I call them generals, each general's armies. I didn't even couldn't get their name until a little bit later, so that was kind of weird. But um, we just see naked ladies fighting, claymation dinosaurs eating people, just skeletons. Like it's all really cool, but after a while it gets a little bit boring without like some plot, because
It
you're just
goes
like,
on
what's
too
happening here? But
long, a little too long, I
yeah,
agree.
but there's some
Especially when you
chaos.
don't quite understand who is who, because I couldn't, so much of the dialogue is difficult to make out, and I was a little lost, but I was also enjoying just seeing what I was seeing on the screen because it was enjoyable violence.
Yeah, I agree. There's like faces being slashed, heads being chopped off, some idiot sounding like Bruce Lee. And then we meet DeMarco and Incidor. Incidor is one of the generals. DeMarco isn't. Incidor is going to take DeMarco's soul back to the devil, but whatever. DeMarco is like chomping on an arm. They fight, and DeMarco is instantly killed.
Yeah.
Um,
I did write down a line of dialogue before the fight happens. One of them
okay.
says, "I eat little assholes for breakfast." I thought that was pretty good. It reminded me of one of my favorite lines from like an Adam Sandler movie. I think it's Happy Gilmore. Will the one guy is like, "I eat little pieces of shit like you for breakfast," and Adam Sandler's come back as like, "You eat little pieces of shit for breakfast?" Ugh. I just it's always lived like in my head as a really funny line, and that's what it reminded me of.
I know that line. I've seen Adam Sandler, but I know the line from a Kanye West song. But yeah, same exact line. I forgot
Yeah.
that he took it from there. Then there's this flying monkey
Wait, so
that
like it sampled the dialogue from that movie into the song?
no, he literally just says the line. He's like, we eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of shit. What's the basis?
Oh, I
Ain't going
see.
nowhere but got suits and cases. Yeah.
What's that guy up to these days?
Oh no, I dropped off after like 2016.
Man,
I legit haven't heard Kanye since
I
2016.
wonder if him and Avenged Sevenfold have ever collaborated.
He did a song with fuck, what's that band that is named after something? Fall Out Boy, from Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a collab with them, and I actually like that song a lot.
I don't know if I've ever intentionally listened to a Kanye West song. Like I'm sure I've filled them like in movies or on the radio, but I couldn't tell you one
Mm.
song of his. That's okay. Maybe I should become a fan now. Would you recommend
Well, I
that?
I think they play him a lot on Fox News, so I'm surprised you
My
haven't heard him
dad might
there.
like him then.
Well,
Shout out to my racist dad. But after that, it was so anticlimactic. It was kind of like that scene in Indiana Jones where like the one
yeah,
guy, yeah, he shoots him. I did laugh at that. And then we get, I believe the next thing is when we get to the British skull. And like that's when I wrote in my notes, oh, is it playing both sides? Because I was pretty confused by what was happening. What did you take away from this scene?
yeah. First, I just want to say there's a flying monkey. We can't
Flying
skip
monkey.
over the flying. There's a flying monkey that's holding Debbie and is taking her
Oh
to the
yeah.
castle or whatever. But but something grabs it out of the sky, and so she ends up falling. Then I got their names, the two generals, Incidor and like Clegor or Dagor or some shit like that. And Spider Skull goes to Incidor and tells him about the devil having Debbie. Incidor demands his right man go and get Debbie, and then kicks Spider Skull away. Yeah, at this point, I was like, okay, yeah, he is playing both sides here. And he's also playing Debbie, so he's playing three sides.
Do you think, because I didn't realize the thing transporting Debbie was a monkey, it feels now like multiple references to the Wizard of Oz, because there's a whole thing with flying monkeys in that as well. I mean, there's a lot of like, so a woman coming to a strange place as well, and then later on we get the obvious Wizard of Oz reference, but I didn't pick up on the flying monkey thing until now.
What's the Wizard of Oz? What's the obvious Wizard of Oz reference?
Oh, well, I
Oh, you
mean,
want to get to it later?
yeah, it's this thing the devil says at the end. So
Okay, cool. But
yeah,
then there's also, I guess, no, I was gonna say the head, the floating head, or just like the
yeah,
head in the sort of thing. Yeah,
that too.
yeah.
So
So
this was
here we,
all intentional. There's no way it's not.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, the story structure and like some of the imagery in the Wizard of Oz is pretty frightening,
Yeah, definitely.
pretty great.
Yeah, we'll see
So,
Return to Oz.
oh no, but I saw The Wiz. Have you
I haven't
seen The
seen The
Wiz?
Wiz. I recommend
Yeah.
Return to Oz. It's really creepy.
What decade did that come out?
80s maybe?
Okay, okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Because you're not the first person who's told me. Um, how about this? Let's exchange. You watch The Wiz, and I'll watch. I think we've had this conversation before on a podcast. I remember
Yeah.
telling you to watch The Wiz, and you telling me to watch Return to Oz.
Yeah, I think the takeaway from this is we don't listen to suggestions we make to each other at all. We don't take
Yeah,
them.
at
We just
all.
don't do it.
I don't trust you very much. I don't listen to Avenged Sevenfold, and you don't listen to Conway. Kanye, how are we friends, Max?
Andrew.
Andrew brings us together and holds us together. He is the glue that binds us. His
And
cum binds us.
then he just abandoned us to have kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sad.
Six Sad World. Okay.
I am gonna
Let me
watch that
finish. Let
show.
me say,
I, I've
okay.
I've wanted to see that for a while, and this has settled it. I'm gonna watch it. Yes, I know. Every time you go
Max,
to talk, bring
let
something
me
else
say
up.
this one fucking sentence. Please, Max. At the battle, there's more boobs, butts, and death. Then there's like this dog-like creature that eats a man. And then they apprehend Debbie and then they spank her, just like in The Wizard of Oz when that girl, what's her name, gets spanked. She doesn't.
Jilthy, yeah.
Dorothy, yeah. And then there's like two brothers who fight. Um,
It was
one
pretty
of the
funny.
brothers,
Those three brothels, I think. So those two brothels who knock out Debbie and Spankle, and then the youngest brother shows up, and the other one's like, "Haven't you learned your lesson from the last time?" And he's like, "No." And then they begin fighting, and like one of the oldest brothers runs to him and immediately is decapitated.
yeah, again, immediately.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what the purpose of that was, but
The purpose, I'll
uh,
tell you, is I think after both of the oldest brothers die, is the youngest brother says the greatest line I've ever heard in any movie. And I have it
let's hear
written
it.
down. You've graduated from asshole to being dead. Great line. What a fucking great line.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Um, then we meet, I think his name is Clegar, who has like traps, like rat traps hanging from his face.
Yeah, I just wrote down Mousetrap Man, but I didn't write down any
Yeah,
other notes, so I forget the context of his involvement.
I don't fucking know. Then we see Flying Skull. He says that he saw Debbie with Incidor, maybe, I'm not sure. And then they're headed his way. So they're fucked. And then there's more battles. Intidor's like, there were three, and then there's gonna be less than one, and -2, which left over equals me. Or like, I like that the funny part where he was trying to do math and he couldn't figure it
Yeah.
out. Some
It
of the
reminded me
humor
of
was pretty
me.
good. And me, yeah. So then we see the guard at the castle that Debbie's trying to get into. He's like, his affectation. What's happening? You can't come in right now. We're busy. We're planning a war right now. Man, you got to come back later, man. Get out of here. The babe can stay, but you got to get out of here, man. I'll fuck you up. Get back. I know crazy. I know karate. I'll chop you up. And he goes, "Chow, get away from me." And his name was Mongor, and then Mongor gets killed, and I'm like, "R.I.P. Mongor."
Wasn't he
It's so
accused of being
funny.
on crack? Like, oh, this guy's on
Yeah,
crack.
yeah. I don't know, man. I love the voice. I love what how he was talking. It was great.
Yeah, pretty good.
At this point, I wrote, I'm kind of losing the thread here. There's demons kidnapping people. They're assaulting naked women. Clegor was jerking it off. Oh man, do you want to say what?
Yeah.
So this woman was getting like tortured.
By
Clegor goes to look. Yeah,
the
go ahead.
thing doing the tilturing, I think had like a creature from the Black Lagoon mask on, perhaps. I was trying to make out what I was looking at, but that's how it seemed to me. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, but it's like not really like heavy bondage or anything. She's tied up and he's slightly hitting her back with a giant feather. And he's like, tell me build the castle. It's, and I don't know who this woman is. I don't think it's Debbie. I don't
no.
quite, we just don't know who she is. And yeah, and then like the demon you mentioned, I don't know his name, is watching through like a peephole and he's like just jacking off. And then the skull
Avenged
bat.
Sevenfold shows up.
Yeah, and it's like, what are you doing? What is this? It's feeling much like that scene from the shot-by-shot remake of Psycho. Um, and he grabs the bat and just fills it to fillet him. And it's pretty cool.
Skull fucks it.
Does it bite? He does skull fuck him. I was trying to tell if it bit his dick off at the end, but I don't think so.
No, he was just like, he comes in this thing's mouth and just like, like, wow. We just saw a demon skull batwing thing get essayed, and that's fucked up. We got to put a trigger warning at the beginning of this episode. Um, but then two demons are fucking, and Debbie comes across it and starts jilling off to it.
Excuse me.
Um,
What? I've never heard that
that's
expression. Is that like a joke,
oh,
a common joke?
that's a goddamn one, a topic, a category. That's a category of porn, buddy. Jilling off.
Is it?
Yeah,
Um,
it is.
Good to know.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a favorited.
now, mine is whatever we just saw in the previous scene with the skull fucking. That's what I
Skull
look.
fucking.
That's what I
Yeah,
look for.
yeah.
I want to upload that scene to Pornhub now and just I don't know, link my Patreon
Just
to it.
skyrocket up to fame and infamy. Yeah.
That's how the movie gets on Vinegal Syndrome's radar, man. Um,
But he goes down on the on this demon woman and actually starts eating out parts of her, like a tentacle, and he sucks out an eye.
Yeah, he does. I was confused by that, but you know, I've never seen a female vagina before. Maybe they do have eyes. I don't know. The eye
That's
of the
good.
vagina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beauty is in the eye of the vagina. Yeah.
But then, so I have in my notes, two women attack a man and then fuck the spikes on his helmet. Is that this scene? Or am I skipping ahead? That's the next note I have.
Yeah, it happens. I just put like, there's
Just in
more
life,
battles,
it
torturing
happens.
of women. Yeah, they do. They use the helmet to
Yeah.
satisfy themselves.
And that's really the most sex we get in the movie, I think. There might be a one more brief sex scene, little middle of a rape scene, perhaps. No. That was the one we were just talking about with the eating out, because then there's some penetration as well. But for a movie called Debbie Does Damnation, surprisingly not that much sex.
Yeah, a lot of nudity, not much sex.
Yeah. So if you're watching this hoping for a lot of sex, don't watch it. But watch it anyway,
Mm.
though.
Yeah, not for the sex, but for the practical effects and the
And
well, they don't really have a lot of practical effects, but the
this whole
claymation
movie is
effects.
practical effects. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I
Claymation's
guess what I'm
practical
thinking,
effects.
yeah, that's true. You're right. I apologize. Could you calm down? Could you calm down a
What are you
little bit?
doing? I have one line written down. Don't remember the context. Who is this guy? Ah, I'll just stab him. And then I assume he stabbed him. I don't remember what the context of that. I think it's just a lot of this movie. We just keep getting these random fight scenes.
Yeah.
So
It's Incidur and Clegor. They're the two generals. They meet again. There's a sword fight. They're just like going back and forth. One of them's like, "Oh god damn, your breath is nasty." The other one's like, "Fuck your aunt." And then there's some gay slurs thrown out, which
yeah,
I mean, they're in hell. They're demons in hell, so they're not going to be the greatest people. They're going to be complete assholes,
I
shitheads.
I don't kill Bill
And
Dale, man. That's unacceptable, and I don't think they should
that's
be. They should be deplatformed. Feel sure.
100%.
I
I
mean, I'm
agree.
sure Spotify will give them like a great deal.
I'm sure Joe Rogan will have him on his podcast to talk about it.
Yeah.
Um, while they're distracted killing each other, Debbie has grabbed both horns. Then the supreme being shows up and is like, "Put the horns on my head, and I'll send you back to your world," which she does. And then, do you remember? Do you have what happens here?
Yeah, it's the thing I think you forgot about. He's like,
What's
okay, well, I was about to skip ahead. So he puts those on, and then his body grows back with
Mhm.
clay. And so we see like all this clay stuff filming underneath his head, and he has his body back. He has his dong back, but it has like a monster's face on it. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
I wish my penis looked like that. I would be so confident in life.
agreed. I wish my penis looked like the one from Beetlejuice, the worm from Beetlejuice. That'd be
Yeah.
sick.
The
Yeah.
same size.
I guess it kind of does look like that now, but just no, not the same size, like an inch.
That
It's like,
Wilm in Beetlejuice is definitely circumcised.
and yeah, and so am I. No, I'm not. I can't.
We all
I
know the
can't
truth.
falsify that. So he gets his dick back, and then he's like, "Oh, I lied," and he eats her instead. It
No,
chops off.
no, no.
What
God damn
happens? What
you.
happens?
No.
Max, calm the fuck
She
down. Not in
goes,
front
now,
of Frank,
now send
please.
me back home. He says, okay. All you have to do is say there's no place like home. So she's
Oh,
saying that was the obvious Wizard of Oz reference. So she says that, nothing happens. And he shrugs and goes, so I fucking lied. What do you expect? I'm the devil. And then he eats her. How could you skip all that?
I apologize. I'm not the the wizard head like you are.
Whiz head.
Whiz head. Yeah, we should watch the Wiz. Let's do the Wiz for the show. Fuck the format. I mean, we're watching movies on Super 8.
I'm sorry. Is that a movie that would make sense to watch at the show at the shop?
No,
What a Return to Oz would make sense.
sure. If we watch Return to Oz and we're gonna watch the Wiz, just
Return
two
to
months. So.
Oz is a legit film movie.
Okay, all right. Um, but here, so then the movie ends, like he's just laughing or whatever. And then I was like, what the fuck? That's the end because there was 15 more minutes left. And at the end of there, so it's basically the making of Debbie Does Damnation. And he's just talking about, how he made the movie for less than $1,000. And you see he made the majority of stuff like out of cardboard, like, it was ingenious, really, and really creative. And it really adds a lot. It made me enjoy the movie more seeing that. And I really appreciate it. But my favorite scene in this was that he, the director, Slane Wayne, going by Eric Brummer, or vice versa, um, asks the woman who's playing Debbie, he's like, "Tell me about your character." And she's like, my character? I know nothing about my character. You tell me everything I need to know about my character. And I was like, okay, yeah, that explains the whole movie. She
Yeah.
didn't have a script.
No.
She didn't like, I don't, and I'm blaming her. Like the movie is what it is, but like she didn't have make up a backstory for this person. Like there was no backstory. She had nothing to work on, and that summed it up perfectly. What this movie is for me, and I absolutely loved it. It was great.
Same. Big high recommend. I mean, no complaints. It's a movie. For the movie it is, there's really nothing to complain about. It's a lot of fun. I wish it had like a big old release. I wish someone would put it out. I wish someone would track this guy down and do like a commentary. Maybe we could see the X-rated version. I would love to see that. Yeah, huge recommend on my end.
Yeah, same for me. I mean, this is okay. So if we're going to be sticklers about it, I guess technically it's not shot on video, but this is what I'm looking for when I'm thinking shot on video, right? Just like not trying to be the typical horror movie that you see with like a typical three-act structure. Like save that. I know people are trying to get into the video rental market, and so they got to do that, but like the spirit of shot on video is in this movie, and that's what I was looking for when we started this journey of watching shot on video shit, is like making movies with your friends, low budget, fucking claymation if you don't have the budget to chop
Yeah.
heads off. uh you know Tits I can take it or leave it, like I guess, but like stuff like that. I mean, this is the essence of what I'm looking for in a shot on video movie. It's accents coming in and out, like there's humor. I mean, yeah, I really am glad that you chose this one, because there's a couple movies we did in a row. It's like, ugh, this is kind of a slog, right?
The
But this
last
one
one was
kind of
pretty
like,
good.
yeah, yeah. But there was like
I
two or
forget what
three
it
there.
was. I think it was good.
Yeah, yeah, no.
Oh, Black Past.
Black Past. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. But there's like City of Vampires before, and
Hmm.
then there was another one before that. So, but yeah, so like we're on a good streak of like two so far.
We finally
And
found the movie you've been looking for, and all we had to do
yeah,
was watch one that was not shot in video.
yeah. But this is the essence I'm looking for. Do you have a recommendation?
Enemy of Darkness, absolutely.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
most people know about it, but I mean, I would just recommend that one if you want to watch something of a similar vibe. And what was the
Mhm.
other one you were talking about? Dave Made a
My
Maze?
yeah, mine is gonna be Dave Made a Maze. Yeah. That's like a mid 2010s or maybe before, but it's fairly recent within the last 10, 15 years. Um, and it's low budget. It's about this guy who makes a maze, a fort maze sort of thing in his living room, and it's kind of like a Doctor Who fucking
Yeah, the tail
telephone
is
box,
it's bigger on the
TARDIS.
inside than outside.
Yeah, and so like his girlfriend and all, he gets lost, and his girlfriend and all their friends go to try to find him, and they get lost, and like it's kind of a legit horror movie because people start getting their heads cut off, and then along the same lines of like using cardboard and stuff, when people bleed, it's this like string coming out of them, and it looks so good. It's so ingenious, and I think it really goes well with this movie.
That's a great recommendation, I think.
Yeah,
I would back you up. That movie is a lot of fun. And
yeah.
so is this. I would also well, I have one more recommendation, but before we do that, anything else you want to plug?
Just a podcast, My Horror Confessional. New episodes drop every Friday. My Horror Confessional at gmail.com if you want to reach out to me. Instagram, it's at My Horror Confessional. I got Twitter, but I don't check it anymore. So, and then
Yeah.
Ghoulish Book Festival this weekend. Come check us out. I'm going to be selling my comic books. Max is going to have all the stuff that Ghoulish has. I think it's going to be a great time. We look forward to it every year.
Yeah. And also we have stickles now for Decayed Tapes. I'll have a bunch at the fest, but also we have them at the bookshop And if you buy anything from the website at ghoulish.lip, we throw in a handful of podcast stickers in every package. So great way to get some cool merchandise for the podcast if you like that. Also, if you are a patron of Patreon, and you want one, just DM us. We will. I'll send you one. It doesn't cost much to ship a sticker. Assuming you live in the U.S., don't fuck me over with some goddamn Canadian shipping for a sticker. That'll make me upset. Don't do that. Um, Also, if you like this movie, check out Debbie Does Dallas.
Live spooky, die spooky.